Hello, our wonderful subscribers. We thank you so much for subscribing to our YouTube channel. If today is the first time you are visiting our page, we would want you to subscribe to our channel, Speak English with Eric, and then you put us on post notifications so that anytime you release a video, you'll be notified. We thank you so much again for watching our previous video on how to prepare for an interview. Today, we want to switch it up a bit to some phone etiquette that we need to ensure in order to save our face, in order not to inconvenience people whenever we are making phone calls. So, there are numerous phone etiquettes that we can think about, but in this video, we are giving you 10 solid, crisp phone etiquette to make you smart, to help you in your communications with other people. So let's get right into it. So when it comes to the use of the mobile phone, everybody has some kind of autonomy and control over how they use their phone, right? So you can choose to play games, go on the internet, listen to songs or watch videos. That's a personal use of the phone. But the moment you decide to engage with another person on the phone, um, th- your use of the phone moves from a personal one to an interpersonal one. So if you are engaging with another person via a text message or phone call or video call, then you need to consider the circumstances or the material circumstances of the person before you engage them, because they also have their own autonomy and control over how they choose to use their phone. So you can't just pick up the phone and then just call somebody just like that without considering the rhetorical situation that you and the person may be in. Right. Etiquette number one. Before you call somebody on phone, it is important for you to leave a text message in order to inform the person ahead of time before you call. In an ideal situation where everybody is busy with either school, work, or even both, it is important to respect people's time and their privacy. And so, if you would need to call somebody, it is important for you to leave a text message first, um, requesting the time that a person would be available to talk. For example, you can send a message like, can I call you at 5? Or would you be able to speak right now? Can I call you now? Please let me know when you can talk. Right? This is to let the person know that you respect their time, you respect their privacy, and that you are not just invading into people's privacy. We have already established the fact that the mobile phone is your own equipment. It belongs to you, right? It is yours. So you can do whatever you want to do with it. But the moment you decide to engage another person on your phone, your use of the phone moves from a personal use to an interpersonal one. That is why it is important for you to consider other people's material circumstances before you call them. And so, if the person receives such a message like about you asking them when they can be available to make a call, the person can also respond like, "Okay, I can talk at 5," or let's text. I'll be able to talk by evening time, or like just for you to also know that I also respect the fact that you considered me before you decide to call, right? This is important so that you save your face and then you save the face of the other person. Etiquette number two. It is inappropriate to call somebody the first time on a video call. If you don't have that kind of rapport with somebody, video call is a more personal, intimate, more personal form of communication between people. And so it is quite inappropriate to just call somebody out of the blue, a video call. How do you feel when if somebody calls you on WhatsApp video call without your notice, right? You may feel livid or you may feel inconvenienced because it is indeed inconveniencing, right? It could be that the person that you are calling is not ready to talk, or the person is inappropriately dressed. The person could be in a birthday suit, naked. The person may be at a place where it is inconvenient to pick a video call, right? And so technically it is a no to just call somebody just on video call without any prior notice. But if it becomes important that you indeed call the person on video call, it is always important for you to start with an audio call, and then you prompt the person that, okay, I would like to put you on video so that we can see you face to face and all that. It is important for you to respect people's privacy, especially when it comes to them showing their face in communicative platforms and all that. People have their own reservations about showing their face on social media or digital media, and so before you connect or network with another person via a face interaction, it is always important for you to alert the person. So that is video. That is etiquette number two. You don't have to call somebody on video call without the person's prior notice. The third one is it is inappropriate to call somebody at unusual hours or ungodly times, right? But if you do, it is important for you to begin the call with an apology. Um, Unusual times may be relative here, but we all have that idea about times when you don't want to receive a call or times when you deem this is not the right time for you to call, right? Those are the times that we are talking about. Um, and so if you call somebody, say, from 9 p.m. in the evening, which is too late, or even for married folks, it could be before 9 p.m. It's late for them. Um, if you call somebody early in the morning, like around 6 a.m., 5 a.m., it's too early in the day, or even 7 a.m. And then calling during the busy hours of the day, it can be inconveniencing. Um, but sometimes we do call people at unusual times because of emergencies, right? So for emergency situations, it's quite acceptable. But for ordinary times, calling somebody as early as 5 a.m. to check up on the person to see how the person is doing, unless for reasons which are best known to you and the person, it's quite unusual for you to call that early or that late or at a time when we presume that most people are busy in the course of the day. But I should intimate here that these are just recommendations, they are not static rules, and they may not be applicable to all persons at all given times. For example, for spouses, for siblings or nibblings, for like sometimes some of these rules are relaxed because of a shared motive or a shared kind of relationship. And so it's always important for you to consider the material circumstance of the person you are calling before you do so. But if you should call somebody at an unusual time, you begin with an apology. For example, I'm so sorry for calling you this late, but then your purpose for calling follows. I know it's too late to call, but I had to. And so you always begin with a apology and then your reason for calling. If usually the person would say that's not a problem, and so but it doesn't really mean it's not a problem. Sometimes it's just for you not to feel bad. But if you should call people at such ungodly times, your reason should be justifiable. It should be worth their time. Otherwise, I'm not sure they will pick your call if you should call during such times again. Then etiquette number four. Um, if you call somebody first time, the person doesn't pick. Second time, the person doesn't pick. it is important for you to stop calling and then maybe leave a text message, because calling repeatedly and the person not picking up could only mean at least three or four things. It could be that the person is busy, or the person is not close to the phone, or the person cannot pick the call at the moment, or the person is intentionally not picking up your call, right? And so, because we do not know the reasons for which people do not pick calls at certain times, it is important for us to give them the benefit of the doubt. And so, what you can do is to stop calling and then you give yourself some time, say an hour or two, and then call to check back, right? Um, it's only courteous for you to do so, because sometimes you call and the person cuts the line. You call a second time, the person cuts the line. It should give you an indication that that's not an appropriate time for you to call, right? This takes us to etiquette number 5. If you are too busy to pick up a call, right, it is important for you to leave a text message to the person so that the person doesn't call repeatedly. So, for example, um, even in most of the phones that we use, they've already created a template of such text messages. And so, as the person is calling, you can send a message at that same time that I'm busy, I can't talk now, or let me call you back, or I'll call you later, right? It is important for you to do so so that the person doesn't call repeatedly. If you promise to call the person back at a given time, it is important for you to do so. It builds some kind of trust and honesty between you two, so that should there be another instance where you promise to call the person indeed knows that you're going to call back. But let's say you promised to call back at 5 p.m., but you were less busy, or you were able to clear your plate around 8 p.m. It's too late. And so you may leave a text message that, I'm sorry I could not call as I promised, but I will call you first thing tomorrow in the morning, right? That's it's that is an assuring way to let a person know that you indeed respect them and you appreciate the call. It is discourteous to just totally ignore a call that you missed, right? So if you miss a call, it is important for you to call back, or it's important for you to send a text message. Totally ignoring a call, it's not appropriate unless for reasons best known to you and the caller. Maybe you are avoiding a debt, or like the person is pestering you for something and you think you cannot speak to the person at that moment, or uh, you think you're going to lie if you answer the call. Probably you may decide not to pick the call. I'm not in any way justifying any of these reasons, but the point here is if you miss a call, you need to call back, right? So that takes us to our step number 7. So, unless somebody has mandated you to pick their call, it is discourteous to pick another person's call without their permission. Let me take that again. If somebody has not instructed you to pick their call, it is important for you not to do so. It is discourteous, right? Unless for shared relationships, as I mentioned before, between spouses, between siblings, parents, siblings, in that case, it's quite different because there is that mutual understanding that anybody can pick another person's call. But for strangers or just colleagues, it's just you need to see the permission of the person before you answer their call. It's only courteous for you to do that. Sometimes, because the calling becomes incessant and disturbing, you may want to pick up the call to inform the person calling that the person is not around, or the person could call back in some minutes' time. It's not always advisable, but unless, of course, you have that kind of relationship with the person, you can always call. You can always pick up to give that information to the caller. I'm saying this because some people picking other people's calls have landed them into irreparable damage or serious problems, and so you do not want to inconvenience another person in your bid uh, to help the person or save a situation, right? For instances of emergencies, it's also important that sometimes you pick up calls even when you've not been mandated to do so. To every rule, there are exceptions, and so even though these are not rules, they are just recommendations. We still have the caveat that it's still possible to, on emergency situations, pick another person's call just to save a situation. But we need to know how um, to we need to know how to deal with every situation in some kind of special way. So tip number 8: if you are talking with one person on phone and you are interrupted by another person, right, it is important for you to ask the person who is interrupting you to give you a minute for you to finish the call before you engage with them. Or it's either you tell the person who is on phone to hold on for you to engage with the person who is interrupting you, right? It is discourteous to keep the person not on hold because the person thinks that you are talking with them and then you are engaging with another person outside. It's inappropriate. It doesn't speak well of you, right? And so that's how to manage the interruption. It's either you ask the person interrupting you to give you some minutes for you to finish the call, or you ask the other person to either hold on or for you to even call them back. That's an appropriate way to do. So that's tip number 8. For etiquette number 9, if you enter somebody's office, be it your superior or your junior or a pastor, your sibling, your senior brother, your elder brother, like if you enter somebody's office or somebody's house or somebody's premises and the person is making a phone call, it is courteous for you to excuse yourself by walking out or by distancing yourself from where the person is making the call. This is for you not to snoop in into the conversation or to sit through the conversation, listening to what you are not expected to hear. Right? Sometimes when you are excusing yourself, the person would tell you to either stay or to even give me just a minute, right? If the person asks you to stay, that's different. But if the person doesn't say anything, it is, or courtesy demands that you excuse yourself, right? That's an appropriate thing to do. And then the last etiquette: when you receive a call in the presence of another person, if you're engaging with somebody and you receive a call or you get a call, it is important for you to excuse yourself to pick the call. For example, please let me pick this one for a minute, or I need to pick this call. Uh, Sorry for the interruption, but I need to pick this call. Right now, what is inappropriate is to just pick the call without the person's permission, and then sometimes the person even thinks you are still engaging with them meanwhile you'll be on phone, right? So it's either you excuse yourself by walking out or by first telling the person that I need to pick this call and then probably sit where you are and then take the call, right? It is inappropriate for you to just walk off or just to pick up the call without informing the person, right? As I said from the beginning, there are so many of these phone etiquettes that we could talk about, but these are 10 crisp ones that will make you smart. And so we hope that you'll be able to ensure or use some of these etiquette to save your face, to make you look polite, to build your relationships with people when it comes to your phone communication. So that's the end of today's edition. We thank you so much for subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please kindly do so. It is Speak English with Eric, and it is powered by Before Breakfast Lessons. So till we come your way with another edition, thank you so much